Hey, welcome. My name is Gary. I'm about to sneeze. Destroy your speakers at home. Um, we are playing Little Boxes today at jollyrogerukulele.com, and you should swing over there and grab the sheet music. Everything you need is on the front page, and my nose is going bananas. And I do apologize. That is not what you want to get started with on the video. On the video, we are at 105, so we're going to pretty much start right away, so no need to fast forward. Apparently running quite a bit behind today. I ran over and grabbed a few potato chips. And I thought I spent just a minute or two doing that, and apparently it was several minutes. And now my nose is running. Now, the joy of Doritos flowing through my system. And so I'm probably not going to survive to the end of the broadcast today. It looks like I'm struggling. Hey, all of you, we are going to get started right. No, we don't need to start right away. We are fine. This is not the level of music that we are used to working at. We're going to be able to coast through this week, and there's reasons that, and it's so yeah. So we're going to be awesome. All right, let's see who's wandered in here today. Minette, welcome in. Minette is in Chicago, but she's not really from Chicago. She's really from Glenwood. And Jerry is here. She's really from Denver, right? She lives over there. I've been to her house. Vic lives in Eugene, Oregon. Glad to see you, Vic. Sandy is in from Upper Michigan. Michigan is in the midst of turning into winter. Probably has beautiful foliage up there. And Lynn is in New Jersey. And insert New Jersey joke here. And that's how that works. LG, Linda, she lives up in British Columbia, so she wins. Oh, have you been having to go through the archives, Linda? Glad you're doing that. If I lived in British Columbia, I would just sit outside every day. It's just perfect. The first time I ever saw giant freighters and huge tankers coming into a harbor is when we were in Vancouver. That is really something to see. Valerie, she's also from Illinois. She's on time. She was late to the last class. Evelyn is here. She's from Ecuador. Laurel is local. She takes zinc. Actually, I do. Whenever I start to look like, I don't think I'm getting a cold. First of all, where would I have gotten it from? I've stayed in this house for. Well, I guess I do go over to the studio. I guess it's theoretically possible I could get it there. I think it's allergies. I think it's just crud in the air. That's what I think is going on. Elizabeth is here. She's from up north here in Colorado. Jack and Barbara. They're both from Illinois as well. Gary and Diane, they're in from Southern Washington, which is exciting. Terry's in from Denver. I can see him from over here. Marianne, you're from Denver, I think, right? No, Marianne, you're I got too many Mariannes. Marianne, tell me where you're from. I apologize. Red is in from Denver. She lives in Wheat Ridge. Kat's from Texarkana. Good to see you. Wheat Ridge is a suburb just west of here. Nice place. When you move to Wheat Ridge, that's it. That's it. You just move there, and then you never leave. It's just everything's perfect there. Been raining a lot up in Vancouver. Well, that's good. we have lived with no rain anywhere in the western United States this summer, which is exciting. I'm glad that it's raining up there. Diane is here. She's in for local. Lanny's also from Weld County up north. Jennifer's in from Illinois. A lot of Illinois. Marianne, Michigan. Marianne, Michigan. How am I going to remember? So sorry, Marianne. Thank you for reminding me. Christine's in from Bozeman. Tremendous winds up in Bozeman. Yeah, we had some pretty good winds here as well over the weekend, and with all this fire going on, we don't need any of that. So we had a little mini hurricane. All right, guys, let's get started. Little Boxes. This is not at the level that you guys have been playing. In fact, all of the music this week is going to be much more playable than we have been studying. And every now and then, it's just fine. Okay. Those of you who know crossword puzzles, okay, that's many of you, right? Because I know who we're dealing with here. You get up and you go, all right, I gotta get my crossword puzzle. If I don't get it in by before the news comes on, I'm gonna not get it done. Or if I don't do it right, if I don't do it in my time slot, it'll never get done. And you know how you battle through Thursday and you battle through Friday, and you're just like, I don't know what kind of psycho thinks a Saturday crossword puzzle should be this hard. And then Sunday, it's, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then Monday rolls around and you're like, oh, thank God. I can actually do this one without crying. Um, that's what we have here. We have a Monday crossword puzzle. Okay. Um, and it's really gonna just come right out of your ukulele, and it's gonna be beautiful. But for you guys that are playing at this level, we have to take syncopation seriously, and we've never talked about it, and I do want to talk about it today. I do want you to have one more tool we drop into your toolbox, these advanced tools that we don't really that that you sort of stumble on and just as you're going around playing, but it's something I want you to really understand and really know. And Little Boxes is just full of syncopation, and it's really quite fun to make it. If you could get it right, it's like, oh, that is cool. Okay. Jennifer says, oh, hi Linda, welcome in. Judy's in. Hey Judy. Little Boxes is profound if you listen to all lyrics. I think it's fascinating. We're going to do folk music all week. We're going to do this one. We're going to do Puff the Magic Dragon, which it's not that profound, but it was super popular. And then we're going to be doing Blowing in the Wind, which is honestly, every time I play that song, I think this is the dumbest song ever. But Bob Dylan takes this very simple idea and turns it into this major thing. And it is another one of those songs where you're like, um, kind of deep and meaningful, even though the song itself is not particularly crazy. And then we have a Woody Guthrie song. Some of you know Arlo Guthrie. Woody Guthrie was his dad, and Woody Guthrie is actually the brains behind the operation. And he wrote "This Land Is Your Land," which is a song that. You're just not going to play it, generally speaking, unless it's in some sort of context like this, which is fun. Now, Little Boxes, not really a protest song, but the what Jennifer's talking about, the depth of this is that, and most of us are of an age where we have actually seen this happen, where you have your open space and it's lovely, and then one day the real estate developers come by and they just cover the open space with gray little houses, and they all look exactly the same. And then in this case, he's got a blue and yellow and green little boxes. These days they don't even do that. It's all gray, right? Because you don't want to have any character to the neighborhood, because that might run buyers off. And so you have these very boring suburbs that go up in what used to be farmland, and then that farmland is gone forever. Here in Colorado, when I was a kid, we used to drive. Grew up in Lakewood, and we would drive up to Louisville. There was a spaghetti restaurant up there. It turns out it was a terrible spaghetti restaurant, but as kids, we thought it was the greatest spaghetti restaurant. And so we would drive up there. And for driving from Lakewood up to Louisville, a good section of the road was dirt. And then over time, they paved the road. And then I remember when I went to college and a friend of mine says, yeah, we got to go to Louisville. There's the greatest spaghetti restaurant in the history of the world is in Louisville. And I remember driving out of Boulder where I was going to school, and we'd go up over a hill, and it was just as far as the eye can see, gray houses everywhere. That's the Little Boxes that we're dealing with here. And of course, this is about the people who live in those little gray boxes, which we are judgmental of, although all of us are now living in those little gray boxes. And the blue parrot, Laurel says, the blue parrot. Well, no, it was Kolache's. Blue Parrot was down the street. We didn't go to the Blue Parrot because it was more like a bar, and the Kolache's was more like a restaurant. And so it turns out, I don't know, Laurel, if you ever got to eat there as a grown adult, but it was iffy. As a kid, it was great. When I was a little kid, when we went there, Mr. Kalachi was actually working in the restaurant one time, and I met him in the bathroom. I was a little kid, and he was the owner, and he gave me all the raviolis I wanted to eat that night. And after that, it was the greatest restaurant in the history of the world. Um, hey, Patty. Hey, Clay. Welcome in. All right. Syncopation. Here's syncopation. Ba-da-dum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-dum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-dum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. It feels like a galloping horse. Fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. Okay, so that's what you're after. Oompa, 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 oompa. That's the syncopation that we're trying to get after, Jennifer. I know, right? Uh, uh, Italian, old school Italian raviolis. So it's okay when you're learning a song that's going to ultimately be syncopated to treat everything as just an eighth note or a quarter note or whatever until you get the idea. So let's go through and play it once or twice. First of all, why don't you play just the chords with me, and you'll be delighted to find out you know all of them. I'll count in 2. 1, 2. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. Now, I used to teach that in intro class because it was C, F, and G7, and none of the grown-ups really ever cared about the song. But a lot of millennials like the song because it's the theme song to the TV show Weeds, which I have never seen a single episode of. But a lot of people apparently have seen that series, and so this was often a popular last night solo that a lot of my students, that when we were meeting face to face, a lot of the younger people would choose this song because they had seen the show and they're like, ah, sweet, I want to play that. So you're playing like a song that the young people like. Okay. They're all at work right now. There's just us here, so we can talk about them. All right. Next, melody. When I'm learning a song, I want to just treat everything straight, dun 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 dun. But then when I get to actually playing it, da da dum dum da da dum dum da da dum dum. Right, so it's long and short, and so that's what we're trying to get to. But let's just go through, play just the melody here. Those of you guys have been around a while. This is not a tough melody at all. We do have some sevens; those are going to show up. So always be thinking when you have to go out of first position. It looks like you got 5, 7, 5 in a row. You're probably better to go ahead and drop it up to into fifth position. And just play through that one little section and then get back to where you belong in home position. 1, 2. So I blew from measure 9 on. So let's play from measure 9. Pick up to measure 9. Let me get it a little better. I don't know what I was thinking about. My brain went to somewhere else. From the pick up to measure 9, I'll count in 2 and then we'll go 1, 2. So I think the hard measure on here is 14 because it's the from the pickup all the way through measure 14. It's long short, 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 long, long, regular, regular, out. Okay, so oompa, 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 and we're not talking even that slow. They're dotted eighth note. Okay, so those of you guys that have not had prior music before, it's important when you see a dotted note, any note that has a dot on it, it's 50% longer than usual. So in my head as a musician, I'm like, just play it a little extra long, right? And then in this case, in all of the cases when you have a dotted eighth note, it is followed by a 16th note, and that's the little note with the two flags on it. And so if you look at little on the from measure 0 there, rest, rest, dotted eighth note, that means it's longer than a half a beat. And then the next note is the 16th note, which is only a quarter beat, right? So together they equal one, but they equal one beat. Okay, together they equal a quarter note, but the first note is quite a bit longer than the second note. And so getting that rhythm right is where your challenge is. And so it always ends up feeling like a galloping horse. Boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka. And so there's a little bit heavier emphasis on that first beat. Little boxes on the hillside. And I'm way exaggerating to kind of help you get that general sense of how that goes. Now let's go into the tough uke. Let's go through and make sure we're good with that. With this one, this is a perfect opportunity for you to practice either both thumb down and plucking. So let's go through a couple of different ways and see how we do. Okay, so from the top, 1, 2. Maybe a little fermata there at the end of 15. Just the same. Almost adding an extra beat there, maybe. All look just the same. So give it a little bit of love on the end. Okay, that's how you would do it. Thumbs down. Let's try now doing the claw system. Okay. All of your melodies on strings 1, 2, and 3, but usually with claw on ukulele, if you can somehow talk yourself into including the 4th string, it's not always necessary, but you get a little bit fuller chord sound when you use that top string, especially those of you guys with low G. Boy, using that top string is real helpful. All right, let's try it with the claw system. 1, 2. I'm probably overdoing the ending there just a little bit, but the idea, again, trying to get that syncopated feeling in, and it's not every single note. That's what's even harder about it, is that you're going to go little, regular, regular, little, regular, regular. So you're going to take the note before the last note in the measure and extend it out a little bit, and then rush through the last note. That's a 16th note. Usually in ukulele, 16th notes are the only time we can do them correctly would be in a situation like this where we have a minute to prepare and then quickly on to the next note. And so let's try it one more time. Any way you want to play it from the top. 1, 2. Finally got measure 14 right. Takes a few times to get things right sometimes. All right. Chords are basic. Melody's not too hard. That 757 kind of sneaks up on you and causes a bit of a problem. Find a meaningful way for you to tackle those. If you're playing the melody, really important. Long and short, short, long, short, long, long, da da bum bum. So getting that rhythm right, take you down slow until you can get it right, and then go back in and tackle it. And then obviously with tough uke, you got to add in your chords, which aren't super challenging. I wouldn't think. Um, all right. I think that's what I know. I find it hard to hold the ukulele when I tried the claw. You probably weren't looking at me, but I'm having the same problem, right? I don't have a strap on this, and so when I get to tough acts, right, and I'm wanting to get these fives. I want to go up into second or fifth position and then grab my seven, so I can do this. I gotta let go of the whole ukulele, and yeah, it's flying all over the place. So again, and lots of you guys have already done this, but when you buy the strap and you put the little button on here, you really do want to do that system. I know a lot of you are like, I bought a ukulele. I'm going to treat it like it's a museum piece. It's not a museum piece. It's an instrument. You have to adjust. You have to fix it so that you can use it. You drill a little pilot hole right in the bottom. You put the little button on that usually comes with your strap, and you put it. You actually drill it into the ukulele. And I always tell people when I'm about to do it to their ukulele, do you want to be in the room while I do this? Most of them are okay. I did have one woman say, I can't do it. I just give me my ukulele back. She took it and she just could not put her button on. But you put a little button on, and then goes up over your neck, comes down here. You tie it on up here with some, it looks like a shoestring basically that ties it on here. Then your ukulele will hold itself up, and then you are much more capable of being able to get it into these. The 575 is driving me crazy because I'm having to hold the ukulele, don't want it to fall, still got to try to hit the right spot. And then of course, anytime when we're playing tough uke, you're not holding the ukulele here at all. And so the entire thing is being held down here in the crook of your arm, which is fine when you're playing with your thumb. But when you go to this, now all of a sudden you're not holding on to the ukulele with anything. You need something to hold on to it, and that's where the strap comes in. And I will tell you, we have about 100 people in our orchestra, and 99 of them use a strap. And the only one who doesn't is Mia, and that's because she's 16 and she hasn't gotten her act together to get her strap on yet. But yeah, everybody uses a strap in our orchestra, I think, for the most part. One or two people don't, but for the most part, everybody does, because it's just the complexity of what you're doing with this hand. You've now taught this hand all these great behaviors. You were teaching this hand all these great behaviors. They got things to do. They don't. It's beneath them to hold the ukulele. And so you'll see when I'm playing, I almost never use a strap because I end up teaching all the time, and it's weird to take it on and off. I will often be holding the ukulele with my pinky here, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. And then when I do plucking, when I do the claw, which is what you were probably running into, Jennifer, it's not good because you really can't cram this under your elbow enough, creating a bunch of tension there that's going to interrupt the tone of your ukulele. So, um, it would be hard for me to ukulele surgery. Here's what I will always tell people that are a little iffy on that. It is normal when somebody brings you an electric guitar that you have to take a hammer to it in order to fix the frets. It is normal. And that's why I don't do it very much with electric guitars anymore, because I just can't talk myself into knowing that that's going to be okay. But somebody walks in with a, $1,500 Stratocaster, and you take a hammer to it, and it's just like, it's all part of being in. This is why we have instrument repairmen who are different than musicians, because musicians don't like to see that happen to their instrument. Or you just put masking tape on it. Yeah, there's also all sorts of other. I don't know if the word is redneck solutions to this, or if there are. There's other less quality decisions that you could make for taping for hooking on your straps. I have seen the strap that goes around the body that covers the whole thing. I guess that's okay, except that thing's going to be rubbing up against the finish on your ukulele. So there's that. The one that's the hook, you absolutely don't want, because it doesn't do it. One, it tears up the hole in your ukulele, and two, it doesn't hold your ukulele up. So that's a terrible solution. I'm trying to think if there's others. I think those are the two main things I've seen. It's fine. There's a hunk of wood underneath here. You'd put a hole in there. You put your screw in there. You never complain about these screws. These screws are fine, right? Nobody loses their mind over that. Why not put a screw in here? And so, yeah. Plus, if you got a nice ukulele, eventually you want to, these are open gear tuners. And this is a nice ukulele, by the way. And these are open gear tuners. There's fancier to have closed gear tuners, right? Or those $80 weirdo things that they have out there now that are like, well, I guess that's another $60 that you got to spend over that. But yeah, don't use tape, and don't come up with some sort of weird solution. Just go get the official system: a button, a drill, stick it in there. And Vic says, yeah, she freaked out when her husband did it. But yeah, it's not a hard job. You just need to have a little drill, put a little tiny hole in there, put your screw in there, put your strap on, and then it stays. All right, Diane. Coleman's hook works for a while. Oh, are you talking about the command? Yeah, I've seen a few people do that, where they take the things you hang pictures up with and stick it on here. The question begs itself, that's why, why? You don't want to put a hole in your ukulele and put the correct thing on, so you come up with this other system. And yeah, it does work for a while, but you're still likely to scratch your surface of your ukulele, and you haven't really created a permanent solution. So command hooks. Yeah. I've seen it. Any number of ukuleles that come in the shop and they have that on there. And I'm like, do you want me to get rid of this and do this right? And people are almost always like, no, yeah, that's okay. You can go ahead and do that. But I have a few people who just thought that was a brilliant idea. So, actually, I have the guitar strap shoelace system. Yeah. So that whatever works. I've drilled a couple dozen holes for strap buttons now, and I still cringe when I have to do it for a student. I'll do a little video. It's no big deal, guys. You measure the distance, put a little Sharpie marker there, drill a hole in, screw on your thing. It's it. It's. I've long since given up cringing about that. The first one I did was like, oh god. After that, like, yeah, it's fine. Okay, I've only screwed up a couple too, and I've done hundreds. So, all right. Today's piece is short, so that you will go work on it. I will tell you, I worked sun up to sunset yesterday and beyond. trying to get music done for this weekend. So I have got to figure out a little bit different system. Puff the Magic Dragon is done. I will have that up for you. Blowing in the Wind, I have the guitar version, so it shouldn't be too much to convert it to ukulele. And This Land Is Your Land, I have don't think I have ever written out at all. So I am behind a little bit on your music for the week. But here's what I know. Here's what I know. You're sitting on top of Harry Potter, right? So you got plenty to keep yourself busy. And don't forget to pull out that E flat arpeggiator for the week. We didn't play it on Friday. I don't remember. I didn't. We have a problem on Friday for some reason, so we skipped it. So I do want to play the E flat arpeggio this week, and it's a fun one. It's got rests in it, and when you see rests in an arpeggio, it means you're supposed to make sure that there's no sound coming out of your ukulele at that moment. So it's a great one for us to talk about. Respecting rests on a ukulele. We usually ignore them completely because we're desperate to get the notes to connect. But there are times when you do want to honor the rests. And so this arpeggiator will help you with that. Don't not work on Harry Potter. It is definitely going to be beautiful by this coming Friday. So you've got plenty to keep you busy, and I will get to these other ones. And I do apologize. I just ran out of time this weekend, and so I'm going to keep at it until you guys have enough music to, I don't know, start a music store. I teach beginning lessons to mostly old people and little kids through continuing at my I put strap. Yeah, yeah. In fact, back in the day when I was very first started teaching, I was like, you don't need a strap. Straps are for losers. And I didn't say that, but that was my attitude. And then I started putting them on for people, and I completely changed my attitude about that. I'm like, if you're gonna play somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere over the rainbow, you can probably be fine without a ukulele. But there ain't no way when you start doing that and then you switch to the claw and you're doing this, there's just no way that you're going to be very successful without a strap. So yeah, that's good to hear, Kat, that you've had the similar experience to I do. Yeah, I take a little strap kit to all of my group lessons now, and I put strap buttons on it for all those people. And they usually, if you take it into your local music shop, they'll charge you 5 or 10, maybe $20 for it, something like that. But it's well worth it. So please, don't hesitate to do it. Play a little bad box is better than we did in May. Was it May when we did this? I can't even remember. It was Pete Seeger. Those of you guys know Malvina Reynolds. She's French. She's the one who wrote the song. But Pete Seeger is the one who made this famous. And if you don't know who Pete Seeger is, he's one of these, old folk music guys from back in the day. And it's very fascinating. I've watched enough Pete Seeger to know that however he did it in 1960 was the same way he does it in 1990 and 2000. I mean, he found a way to do a song and he did it exactly the same way for decades. And this is one of the songs that he did note for note, really. So, your copy's dated March 22nd. Yeah, that's March 22nd. So maybe it was March when we did them, Laurel. I don't remember when we did it last, but yeah, March was probably right after we got into. I know why, because it was part of the intro section, and I realized that it didn't fit there. So yeah, it would have been March when we did these. All right, one last time. Let's knock it out. I think it was a small group thing. Yeah, probably. I don't remember. Anyway, let's do it one last time. You find your way of playing it. Try to get the syncopation in. Then I send you off. Harry. That's it. That's all I got today. Tomorrow is Puff the Man. It's earworm week is really what we're dealing with here today. This song will get in your head today and you won't be able to get it out. Tomorrow, Puff the Magic Dragon. That one's really rough for getting in your head. Blowing in the Wind. Another one, it will not come back out of your head. And of course, This Land is Your Land. So it's earworm week. That's what I should have called this week, not folk music week. I couldn't find any good graphics for folk music, by the way. And so we ended up with a little guy made out of nuts and bolts playing a trumpet. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I will see some of you down the road. I will see most of you tomorrow. Don't forget tonight, Monday night, we have orchestra, and you go there to get tough, right? So we play stuff fast, we play stuff with less dimension and less complexity, and really try to push you through, get you comfortable with just not letting mistakes go. So I'd love to have you come check us out for the orchestra. You do have to be a website member to get the sheet music, which is all on the member page, but we're super cheap, so it's definitely something I hope you guys are checking out on a week by week basis. So go out and do some good today. Be safe, practice Harry Potter, keep showing up. But one thing I know, guys, and I talk about this all the time, but it's important. You will be a great musician if you continue to show up to things. And if you don't show up to things, there's about a significantly increased chance that you will just stop doing it. And so this is as annoying as I can be. I'm keeping you playing. And so keep showing up. And then like and subscribe. And that's all I know. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see most of you at some point later on today or tomorrow. Let's see, where did I drop off here? Manette, you're welcome. Red, see you tonight. Sandy, see you tonight. Yeah, Kat, see you tonight. Awesome. It is a fun piece, right, Elizabeth? If you can get that dun 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 dun, over and play it, goof it up just a little bit. All right, Vic, I'll see you later. Lynn, see you tomorrow. Jennifer, see y'all later. Lanny, good to see you, bud. See you in baritone. I know baritone I don't have my work done for. Zoom meeting tonight. I'll see you tonight, Fran. Jack, warm up that baritone. Clay, I'll see you soon. Valerie, see you in a little bit. Jerry, good to see you as always. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I will talk to you soon.